Soul Session with the man Rice Man. Big time on DBS Radio. Of course, the time complements DBS Radio. The time complements DBS Radio is just about 6, close to 6 o'clock. And we also acknowledge alias, that should be Caribbean Alliance. Have you called Caribbean Alliance lately? Call them today or call them tomorrow morning. It's time now for the DBS News at 6.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, officials from the Caribbean Public Health Agency CAFA arrive in Dominica this weekend to conduct a training in disease outbreak. In news from the region, St. Kitts and Nevis sets sight on sustainable growth beyond CBI dependency. And internationally, U.S. President Joe Biden says a Lebanon ceasefire is possible, but an end to the Gaza war is harder. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Officials from the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFA, arrive in Dominica this weekend to conduct a training in disease outbreak. Acting Chief Medical Officer says the CAFA intervention comes ahead of the World Creole Music Festival.
Okay, Mr. Cole.
Dr. Drago says a stimulation exercise on disease outbreak will be held on October 22nd as part of the CAFA training. Drago added that
earlier this year we would have been informed that there was the T20 World Cup Series, cricket series happening, and quite a few countries benefited from trainings done by CARFA. And as Chief Medical Officer, I reached out to CARFA and basically sold Dominica in that we may not have had cricket. However, we do have mass gatherings. Our carnival is expanding yearly, and our World Creole Festival started local, regionally, and now we're international. Everybody tries to make it to Dominica for our festival. And so they bought into that and have agreed to come to Dominica next week on the 21st and 22nd. We'll be doing an outbreak simulation exercise that's being held at the Fort Young Hotel from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Quite a few stakeholders have come on board, and I'm speaking fire and ambulance, police, the Office of Disaster Management. We have doctors, we have nurses, we have the A&E doctors at the hospital and the administration of the hospital. We also have the acute psychiatric unit. So we have quite a few persons, all the key stakeholders who will be in the case of an outbreak. They would be the ones that we would call upon. And so we saw it fit that before people started descending at the stadium, that we prepare ourselves again, like I said, that we don't want to be caught with our pants down, and we want to ensure that everything that we do it well, and that we preempt anything that may arise. On day 2, which is Tuesday, October 22nd, we do have a simulation exercise. A simulation exercise is one that the participants don't know what it is that we're going to be simulating. So when we get there and we're set into groups, then we get inserts on day one, someone had a flu, went to the emergency room. By the third day, XYZ happened. So it happens like that in sequence, and it's literally a full day event where all the stakeholders will be present and participating in that. Because what we're testing is our preparedness for disease outbreak. We do it throughout the hurricane season, for tsunami, for hurricane, for volcano, for tropical storms. Right now, we're doing it for disease.
Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Lenora Frivry Drago. Meantime, Drago says the patrons of the World Creole Music Festival should be aware of the presence of COVID-19.
COVID-19 is very much alive and present. The numbers are not high. However, from time to time, we do see spikes. So during the summer, when we had the different fetting activities, we saw some spikes. So it is incumbent on us as a ministry, like I said, to be vigilant, that we continue to train and look out for the signs and symptoms. And our health promotion unit has been out there educating and reminding people that mass gatherings are fun. Please do enjoy the season. Have all the fun that you can. But be aware that after the fun is over, there's a life to be lived, and it costs us a lot of money to treat. So prevention is better than care. If you have the flu, you treat yourself, you go see the doctor, you ensure that you don't have something that's a communicable disease that you can spread throughout the community. And like I said, enjoy yourself, but be safe for a while too.
Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Lenora Frivry Drago. The Dominica Geothermal Development Company has signed a contract for $103 million with an Indian company for the construction of a transmission network. The transmission network, a key component of the geothermal project, is from Loda to Domlek facility at Fonkole. Minister for Energy Dr. Vince Henderson told the signing ceremony with Calpatoro Projects International of Latin America that this is an exciting stage of the project.
The development of a resilient transmission system comprising of transmission lines and substations. In this case, for 10.7 kilometers, ensuring that we can connect hydropower, geothermal power to the center of control of Domlek at Fokole is critical to our development. Energy is the foundation, the basis of all development. Today, as we move into more of a digital age, it is even more critical, it is critical that we have reliable sources of energy. And in the case of Dominica, we have committed ourselves to building resilience to ensure that if we are ever hit by a major hydrometeorological event, a serious hurricane or storm, that we can withstand the heat or we can recover very quickly. So this ceremony here this morning, which essentially is the mobilization ceremony for the transmission system, is critical to our development. As we continue to develop with the construction of new infrastructure, especially accommodation facilities, hotels, restaurants throughout the country for the development of the tourism sector, the construction of an international airport will require a significant amount of power.
Energy Minister Dr. Vince Henderson. Meantime, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said it was unfortunate that Dominica was forced to access the loan of $103 million from the World Bank for the construction of the transmission network.
I believe that, and our friends from the World Bank are there, and I'm not necessarily speaking to them because they're public officers. I am speaking to the largest shareholders and directors of the World Bank who form the G7 in particular. There is no reason why a country like Dominica should have had to borrow money from the World Bank to build this transmission line or to invest in geothermal. If we're serious about the planet, if we're serious about agreements that we sign as countries where climate change is concerned and the action that we have to take, if we're serious about this conference of the parties, and if we're serious about the agreement in Copenhagen about 18 years ago, if we're serious about the Paris Agreement that we signed in 2015, 2013, thereabout, then we have to own it. We have to put the monies where we need. And when you look at geothermal ticked all of the boxes when you're talking about response to to climate change, adaptation, resilience building, reducing the carbon footprint, all of the boxes. But yet still we find ourselves increasing our national debt by $38.5 million when it really should be a grant coming out of the Copenhagen Agreement, coming out of the Paris Agreement, and all of the pledges that have been made. And so this is why you find many countries in the Caribbean would like to go to the route of renewable energy. But the moment they start talking about tens of millions to just do the investigation, as we have done here, they shy away.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. The Dominica Patriots Inc. has presented over $54,000 to 3 organizations: the Dominica Community Hostel Inc., Grotto Home for the Homeless, the Dominica Education Trust Fund, and the Dominica Infirmary. Each received checks of over $18,000 during a short ceremony this morning. Chief Liaison Officer of the Dominica Patriots Inc., Michael D. Day, says this donation will mark the closure of the Dominica Patriots Inc.
There are Dominicans who went to America quite early for work and whatnot, for studies, some stayed on. They call themselves overseas nationals. Now diaspora is a more popular usage. And they, among themselves, had to raise funds because they wanted to serve to better, especially needy institutions and persons in the community. In those days, there was not much sponsorship, so voluntary service was the important aspect of how they looked at the way they had to do things. So they have selected people like you, who they know has caused a lot of voluntary service in spite of any assistance you get. And we're very delightful to be here at this point in time, because the third important thing is that we close after this event. They've been at it for over 60 years. So you can understand. The founder is in his 90s. In fact, he'll be 99 in December, 7th of December. And most of them have long passed on, you know.
Chief Liaison Officer of the Dominica Patriots Inc., Michael Didier. Meantime, President of the Dominica Community Hostel Inc., Grotto Home for the Homeless, Daniel James, says the residents will benefit greatly from this donation.
Thanks very, very much. You don't know how much this donation will turn the lives of this institution. And I'm saying the lives of this institution because I'm not saying this institution. The residents is the one who are going to benefit primarily because they are going to be medicated and they are going to be provided with the supplies through this donation. And the staff getting from this donation will be able to assist them better because they will be better. We appeal, and I take this opportunity at this time to appeal to the radio land, to persons, institutions, groups, interest groups, whatever, who have extra cash lying around or who want to make a commitment to change the lives of individuals, to partner with us.
President of the Dominica Community Hostel Inc., Grotto Home for the Homeless, Daniel James. We will hear from the other recipients in a subsequent newscast. On this evening's feature segment, we connect with a Dominican fitness trainer and owner of Mr. Cause Gym, Samuel Bellot. Mr. Bellot started on his fitness journey to help others be the best versions of themselves. Our feature this evening is on Samuel Bellot, also known as Mr. Core.
This is Samuel Bellot, aka Mr. Core, running the gym on the Constitution Hill. We provide yoga on the ending of a Saturday monthly event. We also provide weight training, concentration towards your fitness goals. So what got me to be interested in fitness? I was always an active person playing sports raising up. Then I realized we have obesity issue, we have certain chronic issues. We also have tendency to let ourselves go because of time not orientated towards taking care of our personal self because we are overworked with work to provide to pay our bills. So instead of just looking from a point of not helping, I told myself, let me cater to the issue, and went from being a trainer at Jolly's, then transferring to now owning my gym and giving everybody the invitation to come across to get healthy, both internalized and externalized. So both to feel good, to look good in their clothes and everything like this. This year continued going to 2005. This will give me 3 years established Mr. Core Fitness Gym and just keeping the ball rolling. And on my personal level of being a trainer and assisting people, basically fitness influencer, this will maybe give me 7 to 8 years. And from friends to family members, always try to advocate taking care of yourself, finding time, whether it's meditation, whether it's changing of meals, whether it's going to another area to find relaxed environment, anything to give the body a different way to cope with the daily issues. Okay, so our food are naturally healthy food, so eat your Creole food, and also know that you don't have to wait for Creole season to have access to the food. Cod fish is a very good food you can provide using a soup manner. You can have in a salad, you can have in a dish, and also you have broth. Broth is very nutritious, so you can have it in the morning, you can have it in the evening, and also for women being active. Vehicles is over congested to the tongue, so park a vehicle on a different location, walk. So basically walk, eat your Creole food, and enjoy life. This isn't to do it, so the season can become a lifestyle, so you can cater towards making changes. Use that opportunity to be less to the unnecessary fast food and stick to our natural produce food.
Samuel Bellot, and that's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS News.
In news from the region, St. Kitts and Nevis is looking to move away from being largely dependent on funds generated by its Citizenship by Investment Program, CBI, for economic advancement. In an address, St. Kitts Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew presented his administration's Sustainable Island State Agenda, which is intended to move the country away from relying on the CBI as a major source of revenue for economic and infrastructural development. Dr. Drew said that relying on the CBI, which accounted for at least 60% of the country's annual revenue 2 years ago, is unwise because it is inconsistent and faces pressure from external forces like the United Kingdom and the European Union. And internationally, U.S. President Joe Biden says a ceasefire in Lebanon is possible, but ending the Gaza war will be harder. President Biden earlier said that the killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar in Gaza raises the prospects of a ceasefire in the year-long war, but Netanyahu has said it was not to end. Sinwar, who topped Israel's most wanted list, was a key figure behind the 7 October attacks and was killed after Israel troops attacked a building in Rafah. Hamas has confirmed that their leader was killed in the combat, but said his death will only strengthen the group. And that's news. Stay tuned for the DBS Evening Sports Report up next.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports Report. Deandra Doughton put in an excellent effort with the bat and ball, but her efforts were not enough as the West Indies came up short in their bid to advance to the finals of the ICC Women's World Cup. The Windies went down in the semi-finals to New Zealand on Friday. New Zealand won the toss and opted to bat first. They were restricted to 128 for 9 in their 20 overs. Plymouth led the way with 33 for New Zealand. Deandra Doughton picked up 4 for 22 in her 4 overs. Afi Fletcher 2 for 23 and Ramahak 1 for 11 and Alia Allen 1 for 31. The West Indies, chasing 129 to win, lost the wickets at regular intervals and came up just short in their run chase. The Windies got 120 for 8 in their 20 overs. Deandra Doughton got 33, Afi Fletcher 17 not out, Zeta James 14, Carson took 3 for 29 and Kerr 2 for 14. New Zealand won by 8 runs. Windies captain Hayley Matthews says it was a heartbreaking defeat.
We bowled really well up front, and we did have them within a really good run rate while we were playing. Probably just got away a bit at the end, but I think we can't blame it on the bowlers here. At the beginning of the day, I think we would have taken 127, no doubt. And yeah, I think with the bat, we probably just weren't able to get going very early on, and that put us under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, you mentioned that total, obviously, with ball in hand, managing to restrict New Zealand. What was the chat at the halfway point in terms of how you might go about chasing that down?
Yeah, well, we actually felt based on the wicket, they were probably a few runs short, and we just wanted to stay really positive. Same thing with Kiana Joseph up at the top of the order, but yeah, like I said, we just really never got it going.
Obviously, you lost early wickets in that run chase, but all the time, obviously yourself was there. When you went, Deandra Doughton was there. It still felt like you could have done it, even at the back end there. So I'm guessing the belief in the dugout would have still been positive and thinking that you could have done it even in the last couple of overs.
Yeah, I felt like it never really got out of our hands or super out of control. A few boundaries and the game was able to change, and I think that showed when Deandra smacked a few over mid-wicket. Unfortunately, she got out after them, but look, kudos to her. She's had a great game as well, firstly with the ball and then really making sure that we had a chance with the bat too.
As a captain, I know you'd be disappointed, but there must be things that you're really proud of about this team, obviously, to get you to this spot. And the cricket that you've played, you must be proud in many ways of this team.
Yeah, I think it is disappointing for the entire group to go to this stage in the way we did, but look, I'm incredibly proud of everyone within the team. We saw players that probably haven't been on the circuit very much show up in this World Cup, and I think as a group we've come together and really exceeded expectations. So disappointing that we are going home now, but I think we came here with expectations of not making it very far from the outside, and we were able to prove a lot of people wrong.
West Indies captain Hayley Matthews. New Zealand will meet South Africa in the finals on Sunday. The player draft for the 6th edition of the Dream 11 Nature T10 tournament will take place on Saturday. The event will take place at the Windsor Park at 10 a.m. Dream 11 Nature T10 coordinator is Liam Sebastian.
On Saturday, the draft for the tournament in December will be held, where the 16s will fill out their roster. Earlier, the teams will have retained some players as well as their pre-selected overseas, so the balance of the roster will be filled up at the draft, which starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Stadium Conference Room. Additionally, we will also reveal, well, before the draft commences, we will reveal the fixtures for the new tournament as well as the uniforms that the team will don for this competition. So it's not expected to be a long process. Is just to fill out the remaining rounds of the draft where the players will be selected, and then from there we get into the other logistics of getting all this stuff ready for the competition.
Dream 11 Nature T10 Coordinator Liam Sebastian. Karis Roll, China Tulok, and Shamina Loda all got hat-tricks as the Kalinago Warriors just destroyed All Saints as the DFA Women's Premier League continued last night at the DFA Technical Center. The Warriors ran away with a 13-goal win, taking the match 14-1. The lone goal for All Saints came off the boots of a Kalinago Warriors player. Meantime, the football action continues with action in the Women's Premier League tonight. Kurt Hector Sulfis will play Harlem United. That match kicks off at 6:30 p.m. at the DFA Technical Center. Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shalu says that the CWI will stage a T20 regional tournament in May 2025 to determine which Caribbean island will represent the West Indies at the 2028 Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Cricket is set to form part of the 2028 Olympic Games for the first time. Dr. Shalu says the tournament, which will be sponsored by the CPL, will not be opened to every island in the Caribbean.
But what we are arriving at is the fact that there would not be every island in the Caribbean signing a cricket team or participate. Not for sure. Right? But we still have to finalize how many teams. We still have to finalize as well the format. I think that may be a consideration at this meeting coming up for ICC. Also, what format is it going to be? T20? Is it going to be T10? I think someone saying that it is more likely to be T20 because of the fact that ICC doesn't have a T10 format, right? So it is likely to be T20. We are putting things in place to have our own Caribbean T20 league, which is a domestic T20 league, which you won't see. It is really for emerging players, but you would have some senior guys there as well. This is a tournament that we are going to use to identify new talents. And this is a thing scheduled for around May next year is when we're hoping to host this tournament. So this may very well be the tournament to use. The tournament is being sponsored by CPL.
Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shalu. West Indies coach Darren Sammy says despite the series loss to Sri Lanka, the series provided the coaching staff with a chance to assess the players ahead of the next World Cup. The Windies, after winning the first T20, lost the next two as Sri Lanka bounced back to win their first T20 series against the West Indies. Samuel says the team were up against challenging conditions and did not adapt quickly enough.
We started the series one way with a squad looking to see the depth, and the home side had to change the whole setup to make sure, they got some spinners to make sure that the spinners got the advantage. Ideally, yes, our men did not respond well to the spin. However, with the mindset that we have in our team, being a championship winning team, we must be able to play in different conditions. Letting bowlers be challenged and letting also our batters be challenged. So for us to see the last two games, the nature in which the wicket was from what it was at the start, I thought we actually won the contest because we were the away team, and the conditions set before us, we challenged them with a squad that was not our full squad, and they had to react to that. So I told the guys, yes, when World Cup come, we won't get these conditions. ICC has, will make sure the pitches are good. So it was a moral victory for us from the first game to the second game.
West Indies head coach Darren Sami. Pakistan spinner Norman Ali bagged a career-best 8-wicket haul as Pakistan made light work of England to cruise to a comfortable win in the second test this morning. England, chasing 297 to win, will bundle out for 144 to hand Pakistan their first home test win since 2021. Ali picked up 8 for 46 and Khan 2 for 93 as the spinners took all 10 wickets in the innings. The final scores in the test: Pakistan 366 and 221, England 291 and 144. Pakistan won by 152 runs, bouncing back from their innings defeat in the first test match. The series is leveled at 1-1. Pakistan captain Shan Masood says it's good to finally pick up a win at home after 3 years.
Yeah, I think the first one's always special, and it's come after some hard times, some rough times, and again, for the boys to step in, a lot's happened, especially over the past week. For everyone to work together, to come up with a strategy, like we said, to pick 20 wickets and make it happen. I think that's the most satisfying thing. And I think you have to applaud the group. They've been hungry. Like you said, 3 years and how many, 11 months?
Something.
So that creates hunger. You can't doubt the effort of the boys. You can't doubt their commitment and everyone involved in it. I think it'll be special for everyone because it's come after some tough times and it's kept us hungry, and we're just glad that we were able to put the plans in place, get 20 wickets, and were able to back it up with some decent first and second inning scores.
Pakistan captain Shan Masood. England captain Ben Stokes says it was a disappointing run chase.
Ben Duckett's first innings 100 showed us the way how we were going to chase this total down, and obviously Pakistan, the guys who got the sweep shots out, made it very difficult to control the run rate and set fields too. So when you get extreme conditions like that, you've got to find a way to negate that spin, which I think we managed to do in some good parts, but we would have liked to have gone on, especially myself and a couple of the guys who got starts. We might have got to be able to get closer, if not win the game.
Massive plus in the batting department. You already mentioned Ben on a difficult surface, showing you the way, but you must be very proud of a bowling group relatively younger, in particular the newest entrant in Bryden Cass.
Yeah, I thought, obviously, in conditions like this, the spinners will get spoken about a lot, but I thought the way that Matthew Potts and Bryden Cass just kept charging in spell after spell, ball after ball, and created so much sort of atmosphere when I felt like the spinners needed a break. And that's what you want, There's a lot that we look at in terms of attitude, and Bryden and Matthew Potts this week certainly showed that, and they constantly felt like they were a big threat, which massively helps out in these conditions.
England captain Ben Stokes. The third test starts on October 24th. Meantime, India has their work cut out for them if they are to save the first test match with New Zealand. New Zealand made 402 in their first innings, replying to India's score of just 46 runs. Ravindra got 134 and Conway 91. Team Saudi added 65. Jadeja picked up 3 for 72. India, in their second innings, reached 231 for 2 at stumps on day 3. Khan was not out on 70. Virat Kohli was dismissed on the last ball of the day for 70. Scores so far on day 2: India 46 and 231 for 2. New Zealand 402. India trails by 125 runs. And that's how we end the DBS Evening Sports and News. On behalf of the News and Sports departments and our link person, Ivona John Baptist Luge, I am Leila Langford saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets, PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
25 minutes before 7, stay tuned for 2 death announcements. We announced the death of Bernadette Joan Baptist, better known as June, and Ma June of Kingshill. She died on Friday, 11th October. She was the mother of Albertha Webster, Jacqueline Sylvester, Althea Lendor, Alvin and Mervyn Anthony. She will also be remembered by 5 adopted children, Kelvin and Madeline Woodman, Owen Williams of Guyana, Norma Lloyd and Corinne Senval. 6 brothers, 9 grandchildren, Nathanson, Malik, Mikael, Swandi and Sharik Anthony, Denise Rosin, Jesse Vines, Denise George and Kaylee. 8 great-grandchildren, Nail, Shakira, Nishanik and Dolencia Samuel, Tyrick Thomas and Shanika Alfred. Kimron St. John and Abigail Eluho. 1 son-in-law, Emmanuel Lendor. 2 daughters-in-law, Linda and Barbara Anthony. Sister-in-law and special friend, Deborah Joseph. Special cousin, Marina Banis. Many special friends, including Melvina Walsh, Martine Esprit, Astrid Hogan, and Geraldine Clark. Many nieces and nephews, including Carla and Lindsay. Members of the Jehovah's Witnesses and the communities of Kingshill, Pottersville, and Loubier. All the relatives and friends, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Bernadette Joan Baptist, better known as June and Ma June of Kingshill, can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, 23rd October at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses at Lower Mount Daniel, Canefield. The funeral service will take place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Roseau Public Cemetery. And we announce the death of Peter Purcell Philip, better known as Percy or Big Sledge of Massac, who resided in Salisbury. He died on Wednesday, 25th September. He was the husband of Ulixia Philip. He was the father of Neva, Gloria, Pandora, Andrina, Priscilla, Frances, Pearl, Lana, Gail, and Frank. He will also be remembered by his stepchildren, Tracy, Ursuline, and Lloyd Fire Vidal. 17 grandchildren, 11 great-grandchildren, 1 sister, 2 brothers, 9 nieces, 7 nephews, 2 sons-in-law, 1 daughter-in-law. Many other relatives and friends, including the St. Louis family, Marijuana, the communities of Salisbury, Cochrane, and Massac. The body of the late Peter Purcell Philip, better known as Percy or Big Sledge of Massac, who resided in Salisbury, can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 22nd October at the Salisbury Roman Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Salisbury Roman Catholic Cemetery. The management and staff of the Dominica Broadcasting Corporation extend deepest condolences to the family of the late Bernadette Joan Baptist, better known as June and Ma June of Kingshill, and the family of the late Peter Purcell Philip, better known as Percy or Big Sledge of Massac, who resided in Salisbury. "21 minutes before 7, stay tuned for the general announcements on the Community Bulletin Board. DOWASCO informs customers in the lower section of La Plaine from Willis Junction that they may experience interruption in the water supply from 10 p.m. tomorrow Saturday to 5 a.m. on Sunday. This possible interruption in services is meant to ensure all storage tanks in the area are filled, to maintain a reliable water supply, to meet the increased demand during the Heritage Day festivities in La Plaine over the weekend. DOWASCO sincerely apologizes for any interruption and regrets any inconvenience that may arise as a result. They aim to ensure minimum disruption due to anticipated increased demand on Sunday. DOWASCO thanks its customers and the general public for your cooperation and understanding in this matter. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, in collaboration with the Point Michel Community Policing Committee, will be hosting a block meeting at Siboli Point Michel tomorrow, Saturday, from 7 p.m. Please take notes. It is notified for the information of the motoring public that in order to accommodate the Ministry of Tourism's Tea Village Creole, which will be held at the Botanic Gardens from Monday, October 21 to Thursday, October 24, between the hours of 12 noon and 6 p.m. The following traffic arrangements will come into effect from 11:30 a.m. each day until 6 p.m. There will be no through traffic on Valley Road from its intersection with Emsall Road to Bath Road. No through traffic onto Boyd's Avenue from Bath Road. There will be no thorough traffic in the Botanic Gardens except for local access for individuals working at offices within the Botanic Gardens. From 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. each day from October 21 to 24, motorists will be allowed to enter and exit the Botanic Gardens from Bath Road to facilitate the collection of school children. On each day for the duration of the event, motorists traveling to and from Bath Estate, Emsall and the Valley are to use the link road from the Bath Estate Bridge to the New East Bridge. No parking will be allowed on either side of Valley Road from its intersection with Bath Road to the Bath Estate Bridge. The main Botanic Gardens Road from the East Gate to the Southwestern Gate on Bath Road. The link road from the New Link Bridge to the Bath Estate Bridge on Bath Road between the intersection of Independence Street and Bath Road to the Monbruce Junction, the public cemetery. Temporary bus stop. The Mon Prosper Watton-Waven Loader bus stop will be temporarily relocated on Bath Road between Virgin Lane and King George V Street or opposite Convent Prep. No entry from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Motorists will be denied entry into Virgin Lane from Independence Street. Motorists traveling north along Bath Road will be diverted into Virgin Lane to facilitate the safe movement of pedestrians, people from the Botanic Gardens at the end of each day's activity. No vendors will be allowed to set up stalls on either side of Valley Road from its intersection with Bath Road to the Bath Estate Bridge, on Emsall Road where it intersects with Valley Road to the entrance of the East Botanic Gardens Gate, and on Windsor Lane, that part of Boyd's Avenue from Public Service Union Building to Valley Road. The appropriate traffic signs will be displayed for the guidance of motorists who are instructed to adhere strictly to the foregoing. Any inconvenience caused is deeply regretted. The Dominica Essential Oils and Spices Cooperative Society Limited, in collaboration with the Rotary Club of Dominica, will hold an educational meeting to facilitate the restoration of the Bay Oil distilleries with all members and producers of Bay Oil from Stowe Estates, Bagatelle, Fonseja and Petite-Savanne area on Tuesday, 22nd October at the Bagatelle Primary School from 4 p.m. Transportation arrangements will be made available for members of Petite-Savanne who reside at Bellevue-Chopin. Mr. Brinton Barron and Mr. Richard Barron will transport members from Bellevue-Chopin and Stowe Estates. Please be guided accordingly. The public is informed of road closure for blasting operations at the terminal area at the western part of Wesley on Sunday 20th October between 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Please be guided accordingly. And the public is informed of road closure for blasting operations at the terminal area at the western part of Wesley on Monday 21st October between 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Please be guided accordingly. Moon Senjo, get ready for Fete Senjo from Friday today to Sunday 20th October. St. Joseph comes alive with excitement and non-stop vibes. Go and connect with Moon St. Joe. And also Siwo and Fete in St. Joe for Fete St. Joe on Saturday 19th with TK International. The Ultimate Street Party, groove to pulsating music with DJ Rio 767 and DJ Skirb, and party straight into Juve morning. Saturday 19th October, Fete St. Joe from 9 p.m. Just bring a friend and party.